Wondering why I have not been doing anything with my computer. Well, it's because this one right here, which is my main, I was using it last night and it ended up falling over. I usually keep it on my floor, which I've been wanting to move onto my desk. I just don't have desk space anywhere. So it fell over and I ended up turning it off after it didn't have internet and I just kind of wanted to plain restart it. But then when I ended up turning it back on, it was completely slow. It's hard to describe. Basically, it wouldn't load up my taskbar for like a solid 20 minutes, and then it would take forever to do anything. Like today, I went to go open my device manager to see if my CPU or anything else was not appearing so I could know if it was broken. And it took me 30 minutes to open the device manager because, firstly, I couldn't access the taskbar and I couldn't right click the Windows Start button to get to the task manager or the device manager. And secondly, when I opened the device manager, it took its own self 30 minutes to completely open. The app didn't load, it wasn't appearing. So I went to the internet to do some research and I found out that if a computer falls, such as mine did, it can put a lot of damage and impact the HDD and SDD and or SDD significantly. From what I remember, I believe this is the SDD and this right here is the HDD. I might be wrong, but either way, one of them is going to probably need replaced. And luckily, I have another computer for spare part. This is the HDD that I believe suffered the damage. You can see right here that it might actually say it on it. It didn't end up saying it on it, but I threw the one from my old computer into my new computer, and it currently says getting devices ready. It might work. I'm not sure right now. If this doesn't work, I'm probably going to try to switch out the SDD and or HDD if I'm getting this completely incorrect from that computer to this computer. God forbid that doesn't work. I'm probably going to have to take this to a repair shop or just buy another computer because I do not know what else could further be wrong with it. Maybe something internally, such as like on the cloud computer wise. I don't know if maybe my startup settings just got screwed from it. I'm not really sure right now. I don't know a lot about computers. I do know some things like CPU lies under this fan. There it is. The power supply, drives, all that basic information. Also, when I said that I wanted to put more RAM in my computer, I couldn't because this one actually only has 2 ports for RAM sticks while this one has 4. And that plan was just kind of down the toilet. But if I could, I think I could probably honestly put those RAM things in my computer. I just don't want to. I'm strongly hoping that this works because I do use this computer in every computer I've ever owned for literally all types of work. I've applied for jobs on this computer, played games on it, posted videos on YouTube, schoolwork, so many things. The download is about to finish. I am going to turn it on afterwards and show you. While that's finishing up, I wanted to share that I did undo the CPU fan and do everything I was going to do while it was off, so nothing got ruined. And as well as when I unscrewed this, I made sure the CPU was fine and aligned with the triangles and everything, and it was. So I was pretty certain that nothing was wrong with the CPU. If something was wrong with the CPU, I wouldn't have really been that stressed about it because it's a pretty cheap replacement for an Intel Core chip. But I did want to upgrade it at some point anyways. The computer is turning on. That's obviously a good sign that I didn't ruin anything in it. It usually takes a minute to load, so I'm just going to let it go. For anyone that wants to know, here are the directions for removing the SDD and or HDD. You basically go to the front, which is these. You just take this whole front panel off by pulling up on these black tabs, and then you're free to just push it out from the other end. Computer says, please wait. I hope that it just asks me to sign into my actual account and not some weird stuff. Okay, so it is bringing up the wallpaper from my old computer. I think it's just carrying the information that I had on my old computer to this computer. And currently it's signing me in. I don't know if it's going to have a lot of the stuff I had on my new computer, or how would I say that? I'm not sure if it's going to have the same things that are on my new computer. Like I had Rainbow Six Siege, I had accounts on there, I had stuff like that. I do remember I had Siege on my old computer, so that's not a big worry. I'm just worried about big games and like files that I may have needed, but those are typically all saved in the cloud or just like in my Google account. What's also interesting is that it's actually, I believe, connected the same way that it was on my old computer instead of how it was on my new computer. Typically on my new computer, when I would sign in, it would go to that monitor first instead of this monitor first, so that's pretty interesting. It is taking a while to sign me in, which it did on my old computer, so I think that this HDD drive is probably just really full. So the screen just went black. I think it's about to try to put me on my home screen. Not really sure right now. I'm just going to keep the camera rolling because I don't know what's going to happen when. So the screen did just kind of get a brighter black. Waiting to see if anything happens. Okay, so it's on my old home screen. I'm waiting to see if it puts anything here. Right now it's doing what it was doing before. So I don't think the HDD would be the problem. It's got all my stuff loading onto my other screen. I think that it might be the other drive. I'm going to give it a little bit to try to load something. So my taskbar actually is responsive. This is different than what it was doing on my other computer. What I'm just confused about is that nothing is loaded in on my taskbar. Normally Opera GX would be down there, Microsoft Edge, the Microsoft Store, you know, the basic things that are on a computer. Let me see if I can try to pin something to the taskbar, just see if it's like just not putting anything down there because I may confuse it. Oh, there we go. Yep, we've got some stuff on the bottom. So I do believe that the HDD was the problem there. I think I did just fix it. Microsoft Windows is not responding, it says. That's what it used to be saying, but that's what confuses me right now. It used to say that when the computer had a problem, but now the computer is completely fine and it's running the way it should be. It's got my PowerShell and stuff up. Whenever I try to close the PowerShell, it just says not responding. I'm going to try to open Opera GX, because when I would try to type something and search on Opera GX, it would just crash with the old HDD. Alright, so I'm just going to try to put some random letters in and search and see if it brings anything up. Okay, so it does bring things up. I literally am just going to confirm right now that it definitely was that drive. I'm saying that drive because I'm just scared that I'm completely angering people by saying that it's the HDD if it's not the HDD. But the computer's kind of running a little bit slow right now. Not like extremely, but like it is just freezing a little bit. It did just freeze when I clicked on my Windows, so I'm not sure what's happening. It's like it won't let me scroll is the thing. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so I guess it's fixed. I'm still not really sure right now, but it like seems to be functioning correctly. One thing that just kind of weirded me out was that it started up really slow, which is how it was on my other computer, which I don't really like, because the reason I liked having the old SDD, or just this whole new computer in general, is the fact that it started up relatively quick. It started everything quick. It did everything like faster. So I'm concerned with like my game loading times, my page loading times, my startup. Hopefully that debunks itself. Hopefully it just becomes quicker in a sense. But I guess I did just fix it on camera. So there's the first thing that we just fixed in the computer. So yeah.